Losing fat fast is impossible, is what you will hear from most people, but they are wrong. The fact is, with the right strategy, it is possible. As you can see from these two photos, I did it myself. I lost 24 pounds of fat in 12 weeks. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same thing as long as you are willing. But before I dive into the exact strategy I used, I want to make one thing clear. This is not for everybody. This is not the steady and sustainable approach to fat loss that I usually talk about. We are talking about losing 2 pounds of fat per week here. It's demanding, it's taxing, and it comes with a price. The truth is, most people fail to do this because they are mentally unprepared for the intense focus this requires and the level of discomfort that can come with it. Before you can even consider this, you need to ask yourself, are you willing to train hard? Are you willing to eat without any cheat days for weeks and avoid all slip-ups for a prolonged period of time? Because for this to work, you have to fully commit. You're going to be hungry, you're going to be tired, and you're going to get frustrated. And it's in those moments that if you haven't made the decision to commit, you will back out, binge, and rebound. So what you need to do right now before we go any further is just get out the notes app on your phone, or even get out a pen and paper and write down the 5 actual reasons that you want to do this, and not surface level shit like I want abs. Do you want to prove to yourself you can finally follow through? Do you want to build an unshakable confidence in your body? Do you want to feel proud when you look in the mirror? Do you want more energy to show up better in your relationships and work? Or maybe you want to just finally be in control of your life. Whatever they are, make them personal to you, write them down and keep them visible, because in the hard days, and trust me, there will be hard days, you will need to look at those so they can anchor you through the hard times. Once you've done that, you also need to accept that this is a whole lifestyle transformation. This isn't just a body transformation, you're becoming an entirely different person. Make a mental contract with yourself that you are going to commit to this and see it through before you even start thinking about calories and macros. And once you've done that, now let's look at the strategy. The first step of the strategy is an aggressive deficit, and that's absolutely essential if you want to see results. So it's the first thing you need to dial in. Firstly, you need to figure out what your maintenance calories actually are, and you can do that by using the calculator that I've linked below. Once you have that number, you're going to take away 1,000 calories from that number. So say your maintenance is 2,800 calories, minus 1,000 calories, the deficit that you need to eat at to lose 2 pounds of fat per week is then 1,800. But to ensure that most of that 2 pounds is actually fat and not muscle mass, you need to structure your macros in a very specific way. Firstly, you need to absolutely make sure that you're eating 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight, and that is absolutely essential. If you do not do that, you are guaranteed to lose muscle in this process. When it comes to fats, you want to be getting 0.3 grams per pound of your body weight. Fat is really calorie dense, so it's important to limit how much you eat, but it's also absolutely essential for your hormone health, so you have to get it in there. Then with whatever calories you have left, you should make that up with carbs. Carbs give you energy and they're going to get you through hard days and hard training sessions. And don't try and overcomplicate or over-optimize your diet or your food choices. Go back to basics. Pick meals and pick foods that are easy to prep and that you're actually going to enjoy so that you don't get bored of them. An example day could look something like this. Breakfast, oats and some whey protein. Lunch, a low-calorie wrap with chicken, cheese and vegetables. For dinner, some white fish with sweet potato and veg, and a snack of low-cal Greek yogurt, whey protein and berries. Simple meals that are easy to track and effective for your goal. Now listen carefully, you're going to feel hungry a lot of the time because you're consuming way less calories than your body is used to. But understand, with this level of deficit, hunger is a good thing because it shows that the process is working. The key is to stay ahead of your hunger. Prioritize low-calorie dense foods like lean proteins, vegetables, and fruit, and also drink a shit ton of water because that's going to keep you full. You do not have the luxury of snacking a lot of the time on an aggressive deficit, so you have to get used to the idea and the reality of being hungry. Once you have your calories and macros down, you have to structure your training in a way that minimizes the risk of muscle loss. The thing is, when you're in such a steep deficit, your body is going to automatically want to burn both fat and muscle for fuel. And if you don't train properly to stop this, you will lose weight, yes, but by the end of it, you will look flat, soft and weak. Also, bear in mind, you are not training to burn calories. You are training to send a signal to your body that it needs to hold on to the muscle that you have. You want to be training each major muscle group with around 15 sets per week split across 2 sessions, and your smaller muscle groups with 9 sets a week, again split across 2 sessions. Usually I recommend a rep range of between 6 and 12 reps depending on the exercise, but when you're depleted like you will be, you're going to want to increase your target rep range to 12 to 15 reps. That way you could do slightly lighter weights, which is going to minimize the risk of injury. When you're in a deficit like this, you're going to be way more fatigued than you usually are, which puts your injury risk through the roof, so it's very important that you do this. To complement your weight training, you're also going to be doing cardio, and the first type of cardio you're going to be doing, you guessed it, walking. Start off with 10k steps every single goddamn day as a non-negotiable because it burns calories, isn't going to affect your recovery, and keeps your metabolism firing. You should also add in 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio per week, whether that be cycling, swimming, incline treadmill, or whatever. I really don't care and I'll leave that up to you. It is the best form of cardio for fat loss, hands down. Keep the length of your sessions to 30 minutes each, and if your fat loss ever slows down, always, and I mean always, increase the amount of cardio you're doing. Do not drop your calories unless you absolutely have to. The next part of this, and arguably the most important part, is your sleep and your stress, because if you don't get this right, you are not going to lose fat long term. Starting with your sleep, you have to try and get 8 hours per night. It's not recommended just for the sake of it. When you are sleep deprived, your hormones go all over the place, which is going to cause cravings you eventually cannot deny, and all your progress will go out the window, all because you couldn't give your body the sleep it needs. Just one bad night's sleep can make you more likely to overeat the next day. Now, if you multiply that by a few days, it's a recipe for disaster. To make sure you're getting enough high quality sleep, you need to stick to the 10-3-2-1 rule, which is the following. No caffeine 10 hours before bed, no food 3 hours before bed, no liquids 2 hours before bed, and no screens 1 hour before bed. Make sleep a priority. Trust me, it's just as, if not more important than your nutrition and your training. Now onto stress. When you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out a load of cortisol, which is the hormone that directly tells your body to store more fat. Cortisol also makes you crave sugar, increases water retention, and breaks down muscle tissue. So how do you stop that from happening? My advice to you is to find 1 to 2 things you do every single day that help you decompress, whether that's meditation or some kind of breath work, talking to a friend on the phone, going out for a walk in nature, playing a video game, or reading a book. It doesn't matter, just find what works for you to de-stress. It doesn't need to be something overly spiritual or dramatic, it just needs to be something that calms you down. Stress only brings negativity into your life, so try and limit it as much as you can. Okay, so now you've made the commitment to yourself, and you know what you need to do in terms of strategy, but now it's time to set up tracking so that you can make progress long term. Data is also what keeps you grounded, so what should we actually be tracking? Firstly, jump on the scale every single morning, completely naked and preferably after you've been to the toilet. The most important part is not to panic or stress about daily fluctuations, they are completely normal. What you want to do is take a 7-day average every single week. That means take the numbers from Monday to Sunday, add them all up and divide them by 7, and that's your actual weight for that week. And then you compare them with next week's average. Listen, if you haven't lost 1.5 to 2 pounds in more than 2 weeks, you need to do one of 2 things. Preferably increase your cardio. Obviously, if you increase it to a maximum amount at that point, then you have to do the other part, which is lower your calories. Later on during this cut, your fat loss will stall, so it's important to be prepared and to act to make the necessary adjustments. Secondly, take progress pictures every single week from the front and side in the same spot with the same lighting. I'm telling you now, you will be shocked in the differences in your body in just 4 to 8 weeks. So many people go throughout these processes and they see themselves in the mirror constantly, so they think to themselves, I'm not actually losing any weight, I'm not gaining muscle. Trust me, you are. Take progress pictures and compare every single week and every single month, and you'll see what other people are seeing for yourself. The third thing you need to be tracking, and the most important thing, is how you feel. How are your energy levels? How are you sleeping? How's your libido? How confident are you? Those are the real important metrics. If you're feeling off in a particular area for a prolonged period of time, that's a red flag, so clearly something needs adjusting. Track this stuff by simply writing it on your notes app or even a piece of paper. By doing this, you will learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you as an individual, and that's really important. The last part of this, and the most important part, is knowing when to push harder and knowing when to pull back. This kind of aggressive cut is not forever. It's a temporary fix. You should be aiming for a maximum of 6 to 12 weeks, depending on how much fat you want to lose. Let's say you want to lose 12 pounds of fat, then you need to do this for 6 weeks. 24 pounds of fat, then 12 weeks. However, any longer than 12 weeks, and you massively increase the risk of losing muscle, destroying your energy and hormone levels, and to be blunt, you will hate your life. So make sure when you set out to do this, you have a clear timeline in your head that is feasible for you to do. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, you decide. Make sure you can actually commit to it though. It's really important to watch for those red flags. The most common ones are not being able to sleep properly, a non-existent libido, and not being able to train with any kind of intensity or consistency. If any of those show up for a long period of time, it's time to reverse diet, and do that slowly by adding an extra 150 calories a day each week until you are back at a more sustainable deficit or even maintenance. But equally, you should know when to push harder. If you're feeling good and the results are coming, then double down and keep going. Just remember to look out for the red flags that we just discussed. So there you have it. If you follow that strategy that I've just laid out for you in this video, you will see fat loss and results very quickly. If you want some help on that journey, click the link in the description, book a call with me, and we can have a chat and see if you'd be the right fit for coaching. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.